Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers Showcase video. In today's video, we're looking at another large block ship, and this one is called the Predator Mark IV, which is this lovely thing over here. So this is a lightly armed scout ship that features a couple of artillery cannons, a couple of Gatling guns, and a singular interior turret in forms of defense. It also features everything you need to survive in survival mode, and it's good for both space and planets. This ship has also been covered by another Space Engineers YouTuber called Burn7. There'll be a link to their channel in the description below. They do what I call bite-sized video, where they can do a showcase in basically 1 minute or less, so I'd highly recommend checking them out. Pressing F10 and finding it in the spawn menu, the Predator is 255 large blocks, using the Warfare 1 and 2, Sparks of the Future, and Decorator Block No. 1 DLC packs. We also got a nice lot of information about it on the Steam Workshop page, showing us the PCU limit and of course everything it can do. So give this thing a thumbs up, move all around towards the very front here, we'll have a quick look around the outside, a quick look at the teeny tiny interior, then we'll fly around over to the evil enemy just sitting right over there. And in case you're interested in the Skybox I'm currently using, there'll be a link to that in the description below as well as the other YouTuber. This one is the Dyson Sphere. But anyway, back over to the ship. At the very front, this is what we get. So at the front, what we can see is some lovely grey steel blocks with a bunch of yellow that makes up the main body of the ship. If I was to put my light on and drop down just a little bit, we've got a blaster edge block, then a camera right below it to help aim our guns straight forwards. And as you can see on the left and right hand side, we've got two artillery cannons to blast your enemies with. If I was to move up, turn my light off and move around the side, that's what we get at the front there. But to move over to that is our artillery cannon. There's some ion and atmospheric thrusters. We can see some blinking white lights. There's our Gatling turret, even more ion thrusters along the side. There is a chair just sticking there so you can have some passengers come along with you if they're feeling brave, but it is really just there for decoration. There's another atmospheric thruster. Then round towards the very back, this is what's going to push us along. So we've got two large ion thrusters, then we've got four small atmospheric thrusters. We can see two gyroscopes attached onto two atmospheric thrusters, and there is a ladder to go up and inside the ship, which is being guarded by a lone interior turret. If I was to move up and look down at it, that is what we get. Then going towards the front there is a large atmospheric thruster to help keep this thing off the ground while on the planet. Two more ion thrusters help move us down in space. There is our cockpit to fly this thing around. It's in a very peculiar position. Most ships will usually have it at the front or even have it built in the back as a full-on bridge. But this is simply a cockpit where if you were to do a sudden stop, there's a high chance you could get blended into that thruster. Anyway, moving towards front where I'm standing, that is all we get. Then dropping down and coming underneath it, past our camera, we've got ourselves a searchlight. There's our artillery cannons. There is the bottom of our large atmospheric thruster. Even more ion thrusters help move us up in space. A connector to help dock this thing up. Another gyroscope. And towards the back there is all of our atmospheric thrusters, and we can see the blink of the other light on the opposite side. And so there we go, that's a very brief look around the outside of the Predator Mark IV. We can see it's got a nice lot of utility all the way around it. It's going to get even better when we go on the inside. So to get to the inside, we have to come to the rear of the ship, and well, I suppose for the moment I could just dump my character onto this chair, come to third person view, that is what that looks like. So you can essentially behave like a reactive armor piece on the back of the ship. So coming up to this door, opening it up, we don't have a double door for an airlock, so we have to be aware of that. But this is what we get on the inside. We've got a lovely blue glow, and at the front we can see the rear of the cockpit to get inside. But if I was to look down, we've got a ladder shaft that leads down to a cargo container for an easy access to store stuff in, and put it into our assemblies and that. Moving forwards, a survival kit to respawn on, and of course to heal yourself. Looking to my left, we've got a toilet just in case you need it. Then on the right, there is an armory locker to store a few bits and bobs. If I was to come back to that cargo container and come into the production tabs, we have an assembler and a basic refinery, so we can build stuff if we need to in the long run. Just finding it in here, that's a standard assembler. And there's your refinery. And of course, you can use your survival kit to refine stuff up if needed. So we've got all the basics we need for survival mode. So the only part we need to do is come over to the cockpit and go through the controls. So bringing up the HUD, these are the controls we get for the Predator Mark IV. Number one is going to be for our artillery cannons to fire them straight forwards. So what I'll do is just fire it at this starting base. Just go and launch it like so. There we go, missed it completely and simply hit the asteroid. That's about right for me. Number 2 is for the camo sitting right below our nose so we can precisely aim our artillery cannons. Number 3 is to turn our Gatling turrets on and off. Number 4 is to take control over our searchlight so we can take a look around and see what's going on in the asteroids. Coming out of that, 5 and 6 is for our thruster overrides for our ion thruster, put us into a cruise control. Number 7 is to turn on and off our atmospheric thrusters. Number 8 is to turn on and off our ion thrusters. And number 9 is to jump 2,000 kilometers thanks to our singular jump drive. Over on the tab number 2, we then got a button to turn on and off our doors to prevent any kind of sneaky so-and-so getting aboard. Number 2, number 3 is for our hydrogen tanks and oxygen tanks to stockpile on and off. Number 4 is for our beacon on and off. Number 5 is for our interior turret on and off. And number 6 is to take manual control over our interior turret in case we need to do some precise shooting. Onto tab number 3, 4 and 5, we got nothing else. So now we can fly this thing around and slowly move over to that enemy marker, which is somewhere in that direction. So moving forwards, this is what we get while in space. We've got some fantastic speeds thanks to those large ion thrusters. Coming to a stop, we are a lot slower, but luckily we do have the gyroscope controls to do a 180 and boost forwards to stop ourselves a lot quicker. Moving left, that's what we get with that. Moving right, again it's very slow with that. Moving down, and then moving up. Moving up feels like it's the second most fastest thing on this ship. And moving down was very slow, just like left and right. And as you saw for the 180, this is the controls we get thanks to our gyroscope. But a nice sort of control. It is quite heavy, it does drag around a little bit, but it does suit this size of ship. But now what we can do is fly over to that enemy signal and start blasting it with our artillery cannons and turrets, and hopefully we'll come out of this in one piece. And here we are now approaching the enemy red frigate. Using the camera and zooming in, that is what we're going up against. I might be able to start firing with the artillery cannon. Lock on first of all. Hopefully it'll lock on before I get within range of their turrets. It looks like I'm going to have to start blasting. There we go. And we managed to get a hit on it. Now I'm just going to fly past it. There goes all of their guns. It looks like they are extremely angry. I'm going to tilt myself to try and get the other turrets onto it. And that's what we get. Now I'm going to do a 180 to try and boost forwards and hopefully not crash into that asteroid. Now we can switch to that once again and start firing into their thruster pods on the side. And there goes all their turrets just pummeling into us. I am just relying on that interior turret and side Gatling. It looks like we can just fly around it. Oh god, there goes one of their turrets. I didn't think they actually had range on me on that, or even the angle to shoot me. There we go, we now fire into their front once again. Come into the camera. And we're doing a very good job. There is their railgun. Oh god, they had a railgun on that. And hopefully our guns can now start to deal with them. There goes one of their artillery cannons. Just going to blast into that. Missed it completely. And I think the only thing left for me to do now is to simply ram the ship straight into it and hope I can disable them. And here we go, I'm now boosting forward. I'm just being pummeled by that artillery. Straight into the side of their ship. What kind of damage can I deal? And there we go. That was a nice lot of explosions. I am going to set myself to be untargetable, hopefully. And there we go with that. There is really not much remaining on that ship. Just the rear of it where we've got, I think that just is one of the side ion thrusters that's now floating away. And that's all we've got left of the poor little Predator Mark IV. Outside of me crashing it did a fantastic job against this well-armed red frigate. It was taking quite a beating from all of its turrets, and it was doing a very good job at surviving and dealing damage to it. But that is it for what the Predator Mark IV has to offer. There'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around for yourself. Highly recommend you do, and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.